This is an Onomy podcast.
Hello, you growing babies, you grow gang, you growers. We're still figuring it out. We're still figuring out the name for the audience. Welcome back to the pod. Today, I am talking with the most requested person so far, my old friend, my first love, my longtime co-star, someone whose life is just connected to mine forever because of what we were together on Ned's, you know? It's Lindsey Shaw, the sweet Moze, the Moze to my Ned. And we talk about a lot. We talk about our history. We talk about what our lives have been since Ned's and what Ned's has meant to us, and kind of the different paths we went on for both good and bad, and how we find ourselves now reconnected as adults, working together on our own podcast and just in a new place in all of our lives, her, me, and Daniel. And it's just a great conversation, and I love seeing her and love seeing her doing well. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Make sure you subscribe and follow and rate us and give us comments. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I love you. Enjoy the talk. I am producing this podcast with Onomy. I know on our show here, we talk a lot about adulting, growing up, tips to get through it. But Onomy provides a ton of other great content on the same theme. They're providing content and resources for our young adult, setting up our adult lives. There's so much to learn, and they're working with a ton of great creators. And their whole mission, get this, is to provide you this information for free. Thank goodness, because life's expensive and inflation is getting us all. But not with Onomy's content. You can go get it for free. onomy.co. Check out the website. Check out all the content, and allow them to support you in your adulthood journey. Lindsey Shaw. Lindsey Shaw, you bullied me into being on my podcast. You bullied me. You were like, get me on. You're a bad friend.
I knew the guilt would work. I knew the guilt would work on you.
And
this is why I did it. I felt FOMO. Unreasonably, obviously. When I saw you and Daniel, I was like, oh. Oh, okay. And obviously, I just was like, whatever. But there's no rational reason that was. And then it was brought up on another podcast with you and I just felt like, oh, this train won't stop moving.
Yeah, because someone else gave me shit and then you just caught on. But I have to be honest. I'm only giving you shit because, first of all, of course you were always coming on this podcast. I mean, like, of course, dude. We are intricately linked in this life. And beyond just it being a fact that you would always come on, you were the number one most requested person in all of our comments. Everyone, and that's the thing. You, me, and Daniel are connected for life because of this. Because of Ned's, and like it's a strange thing. Like, no matter what I post, or even in real life, like, people are going to reference you and Daniel when they see me.
Yes.
They're gonna go,
all of
Moze,
my comments. Where's
Cookie?
Ned? You mean this about Ned?
Where's Moze? Where's Cookie?
Why'd you do him like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is like, it is lifelong that goes on.
It's like we're the power of three.
Yeah.
The strongest shape, right?
Yes.
And the one that I stuck and poked myself with here was so painful. I hated it.
A triangle?
Yeah, triangle right there. And, but yeah, no, I really, really feel that. And for a period of time, I was very disconnected from the innocence and friendship and connection of that show.
Yeah.
And I think coming back together with you guys and just being accepted and respected despite everything that, you know, it just was a cold affect for a while from me.
Yeah.
And it was dark, right? And I had a lot of shame and guilt coming back from that. And in my mind, you both made all the right decisions in adulthood in life from the show, regardless of what external things there were, you both as people just like made the right choices to fulfill your potential, right? In like in a non-harmful way.
Yeah.
And I really looked up to that, and I really was like, fudge, I will never feel equal to them. And I think doing my own work and just, you know how overwhelmed I was when I like first came back together with you. It was just like overwhelming and so cathartic.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like I'm getting back to that place where I thought of myself as that innocent, cute, sweet little thing, you know what I mean? Who can actually evolve out of all this crap and, you know, turn it into this really beautiful life. But what's interesting to me is like, yeah, we both diverted down these paths, but I feel like we both have a similar collection of knowledge, maybe not experiences, but like knowledge and consciousness that I think we've both reached.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of wild to me that we've come to the same conclusions, but we've diverged
from very different paths. I know. It's so interesting. I mean, we had the whole Ned's experience, which was pretty fucking magical.
Ugh.
Like so innocent, so pure, so good on all of us. What a special time.
It kind of hurts me that Nickelodeon is going through this, like, and I'm glad, but like, if for me, it's just so not remembered that way, and then for it to be villainized in such a way, and I had no idea what was going on these other sets. We were just so innocent to that, and that was the assumption of what was happening everywhere.
I know,
right?
And a lot of people think that's what was happening on every set, and it's not. We had a fucking magical time. We really did. Our set was really healthy. I mean, it was good. We were a family. Everyone was working together. Like it was a beautiful time in our lives. And yes, then we got off the show. I was 15, you were 17. And we took very different life paths after we broke up.
Oh. I'm going to be honest with you. That sent me down a road that was just a catalyst to a road that was there in my life and was going to happen anyway. And that was like the first trauma outside of my parents that I reacted very poorly to. Yeah. Right. And like I reached out in directions for not good things, right? Like bad people, but those bad people, even at the time, she was so, like, they were so meant for me, you know? And the things that I learned from them, and the way that I healed and the way that I felt safe, like, it's just an evolution of what I like deserved, you know? But I definitely fell into a pit after that happened. I fell away from grace, which I felt like, you know, that cast offered a lot of grace. Like we were all just on this high vibe, right? Yep. And I just completely was like, what's the other side like?
Yeah, I know. I watched it happen. I watched who you started hanging out with and where you went. But I think you wanted to. I mean, knew that.
That's gonna happen.
I was like, this is where she wants to go.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. A catalyst for a road that was gonna get tripped at some point. Yeah. Like, you know, if you're gonna do drugs, you're gonna do drugs. If you're gonna XYZ, you're gonna XYZ. Like maybe something can come in the middle of that and like break that up, but your susceptibility to that can be catalyzed at any time by anything. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so I think that happened. And then I went on this sort of like, I got really spiritual. I got off drugs, got back on drugs. Like, I mean, it just was like, I went wherever the wind blew. Yeah. And what I realized was that I wasn't able to heal from our thing because I'm pretty sure the BPD that I was just recently diagnosed with, which I don't truly believe in labels, but I do believe that this emotional recklessness, I don't choose it. Like not on this like
not on a conscious level. Yeah.
And I couldn't deal. Like the main trigger point of that is being abandoned or rejected, which even perceived, necessary, healthy, like all of it, I just didn't even know. So that went to a depth of pain that I like didn't even know was there. Yeah, you know, and that wasn't even all you under the surface. That was just
I mean, it cut so deep with me too. You were my first like love, dude. I loved you. Like we were so close as friends before, and then went through like hormonal teenage. It was that first love when hormones are first a thing, and we already had a really pure friendship and saw each other all the time and had so much fun together, and we're fucking little maniacs together.
And we're creating together.
Yes, and creating magic and fun and all this shit. And then like falling in love as you do at that age, like it was so meaningful and so powerful, and like you were my first in a lot of things, and like it, even though I didn't spiral into 10 years of drugs.
Right. No, so it meant a lot to you. Where's your
it's a competition.
No.
I loved you more.
No. Like
even,
it was,
even though that didn't happen, it was significant. Like us not working out as we never could have, as no one can or should at that age anyway.
Right.
But it hurt so much. We went from every years together, and then such intense love together, to not being able to be around each other.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Remember when we had to go to the Harlem Globetrotters game? No,
this
you
was
don't
after
remember.
We broke.
I was
after
so
we
just
broke
like,
up?
he's right there. Yeah. You were behind me. It was so awkward. We still had to like go to all these like random things that like, this got
to promote. Yeah. Oh. No, that sounds awful,
and
dude.
I just was just like, yeah. You were also this like it was just very like fairy tale to me, that first love thing, the way we worked together. Like it was this sweet fairy tale of Ned and Moze together. You know what I mean?
I know. And it's the fucking,
it was that,
It's Ned and Moze get together at the end of the season.
I know.
And Devon and Lindsey get together at the end of the season.
Cute.
Yeah.
But no.
And like love and carry.
But cute, but then painful.
No. But then so painful.
So painful.
And yeah, so even though it manifested in different ways, like it was a deep wound. It took me a long time to like just let it go, heal from it.
My legs look ugly. I'm so sorry.
Wow,
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so
sure
sorry.
nobody else notices. Also,
I know people notice.
Also, most
hate tears. I'm sorry. I want to know. You're
also
pouring your heart
most
out.
people are listeners, not watchers. Actually, I don't know that that's true.
I am trying to fulfill my potential on this podcast.
Cover your ankles.
Okay. I am a Puritan at heart. Okay, so sorry.
But yeah, it took a long time. I think, as any first intense love does. Like, it took a long time for me to like figure out what went wrong, what I want to be as a boyfriend, what love is. Like, it definitely fucked with me for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in each other's...
I really love the way we stayed in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Because... yeah, going through a lot. But I just remember literally every so often, I remember these phone calls with you that were just like, I would check in with you and be like... But it would just be for like one phone call, and you just hold space and be like, I know.
Yeah.
I know. No, I see that.
Yeah.
Yep. And that happened several times.
Yeah.
And I just remember always thinking that I could reach out to you in that way.
Yeah.
You know, it was not often, but it was like definitely during times of real distress.
Yep. No, over the years, I loved that too, is like I still kind of knew where you were-ish and what was going on, and I was worried about it. But knew there was there's no intervention.
Nope.
Like, Lindsey's just got to play out what she's got to play out. And I always got you when you would tell me what was going on. Like, I always like, it wasn't just me like fake holding space. I'm like, I know you and I love you.
And that's why
I got you.
That's why I remember the conversations, because like I truly felt like I was talking to somebody who really knew who I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who was holding, you know, who still saw me as that, even if I couldn't see myself as that. Like, that's always what I felt on those calls. That's why I kept calling you.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And it's been amazing getting to like really reconnect now as adults and have our Ned's podcast that's like really giving us something to create together and time together. And from my understanding and how I'm witnessing you is like, you're doing fucking amazing right now. You seem like real fucking good.
You know what, man?
Makes me happy.
I am good. I am good. I'm letting go of that narrative that I had for so long.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Like, I am still working through wounds, and I still have these character defects that I fall into, and they call it being like a dry drunk, because, you know, you're still acting out those behaviors that would have happened had you been using, you know, and it's really interesting to sit in those character defects. It's really lovely to know that they're just an imbalance of character gifts. you know?
Yeah.
And those gifts, when you give too much or you give too, like those gifts are meant to be kept in balance.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing that I've learned is that forgiveness is about not re-victimizing yourself in the retelling, right? Not adding the shame. Maybe there's shame there to uncover.
Yeah.
But sitting there every time and being like rotten, that's self-indulgent.
Yeah.
Right? That's really self-indulgent, and it allows you to create more layers of isolation around yourself. And so the ability to just look at it and take responsibility for my side of the street and not hate myself for making that mess is life-changing.
Yeah.
It's painful. Emotions are more available, but it's great.
What role did and like how did that go about getting your BPD diagnosis?
Yeah, so I call it on my inventory shit show weekend 1, shit show weekend 2. That was my last relapse, August 31st, 2021, and by the grace of God, day by day, we march on. And right, I got to get my AA plug in there.
Do it.
No, but for real, like, I mean, sanity is earned every day. You know, like for me, at least. And so after falling down that pitfall, I was like, this is not just a love of alcohol. And like, this is like, you need help, or you need to check yourself in for a longer time in rehab, and you need to be an inpatient because you can't take care of yourself and you don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I went to a psychiatrist, and she like went over a checklist of things. I had already kind of thought that I might be a candidate for these things, and I had read about it, and she was like, definitely BPD. I got on some medicine. I got deep in program, and I haven't had another thought about it truly. And, you know, not even like those cravings people say, like I was ready to put it down. I just couldn't. And it's because those emotional reactions that trigger, like I couldn't make any space between them.
Yeah.
It would literally be like, alcohol, alcohol. Like, and even when I knew I would feel guilty about hitting my dealer again. And then it would switch into autopilot, and I would be just, these are the actions that you go forward now. This is what's been set into motion, and this is what you go do.
Yep.
And I literally cannot believe that I feel this way.
Dude.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I actually know how to have fun again.
Dude.
Having water at a party.
Dude.
Have fun during game nights.
Dude.
Like, oh my God, getting to know people again. You know, I actually stopped getting to know people because I forgot how to have conversations.
Yeah.
Because I was always just like,
spinning on your shit. Yeah.
Let me tell you about something I read. I was using other people's words constantly. I had no idea how I really felt. And learning more about that, and learning like why I have felt like such a leaf blowing in the wind for my whole life. Like that's not just part of being an actor. That's not just part of like the craft. No, that's a serious like mental distress that you have been taking on for a very long time. And wow, unfolding that and being finally properly medicated for that has changed my life. Like I've never been happier.
Dude.
I have true moments of contentness now where I'm like,
I'm just content. Yeah, just sitting.
cool. Grateful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, awesome. Because even pre-drugs, you had this on meds. You had a chaotic streak, man. Like even as a beautiful, pure, innocent young teenage girl, like you had this chaos in you then. This isn't about, this goes deeper than the fucking drugs.
This damsel in distress thing. And I think I took that a little too far. right. No, really, but I realized being in damsel in distress is an archetype I've played since I tried to get my dad's attention. You know what I mean? When I visited him, like that's an archetype that and I think that's an archetype a lot of women play.
Yeah.
And letting that persona go has actually been very hard and very, very self-esteem building because I'm like, wow, it is very embarrassing to be the damsel in distress. Like, not if you are, like, not if there's like true distress, but like this inflicted distress that you're putting on yourself to get attention, and then that attention's not even enough to get you to stop. Like, you just want that chase, right? You just want people to continue to save you. You want to be on the stretcher every night. You know what I mean? And so that didn't work, and that was pretty crazy. And now I'm just like, whoa. Okay. That's, I was a real menace to society, but it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. It's so fucking, like, I've loved you since I've met you. It's like, even through all of it, it's just like, nah, I still love you and want what's best for you and you still deserve good things in this life, and just like feeling fucking content and creative and fucking connected.
Yeah.
Like
Feeling
you
that
deserve all
power.
those things.
Feeling that power from the inside, earning things, like earning my yoga practice, earning, putting time into things, and I don't know. It's wild how much time you have to actually live and how little I've actually experienced because I was locked in that box.
Yeah, when you're just cycling ups and downs on drugs, for sure.
I just wasn't looking at it in my 20s because I got to be honest, I was working a decent amount.
Yeah.
And so there weren't truly consequences to the actions.
Right.
The consequences were here for sure, right?
And
but like I still had money to buy that shit.
Exactly.
Like nobody was telling me anything, right? I wasn't being put in my place. Boundaries were never a thing for me. Like people kind of let you run rampant, especially I was on these tiny ass sets. People were like, wow, Lindsey, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're an actor, even if you're chaos, no one's going to draw the boundary. No one's going to tell you shit because they just need you to do what you're there to do. Yep. So they actually give you space and encouragement and just whatever keeps you going.
And your job is dependent on your mood. So you can't touch a person's mood or aura.
Exactly.
And so nobody was like,
checking you.
Okay?
Yeah.
They were just like, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have been able to hear them anyway.
Yeah.
I've
I was never fucking
there was nothing I could hear. There was nothing I could hear.
There was nothing to do. All I could do was give you space and love and just like connection when you wanted
calls
it.
When I called.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I don't do that with most people.
No, I
really
appreciate you.
I'm not reliable on my
I'm going to
phone.
be honest. This is what I said a lot. I feel like you are the male me. I truly feel that. I don't want you to take that as an offense.
I don't. I'm curious. I'm curious what follows this.
Because I just think I don't know, you're smart and articulate. You like to debate.
Yeah.
I would always answer your call. I get it. I'm not the most social butterfly either, right? And there's only so much I can take, but you are always somebody that I will have and make space for.
Yeah.
But I just feel I don't know, we're similar, man. Yeah. We're ignorant and arrogant in the same way.
Yeah.
But we're also so big-hearted and kind and trying to move forward.
Yeah.
Even if we're stumbling, trying to stumble forward.
Yeah.
And I just respect you a lot. And I say that with the greatest compliment.
Yeah.
As the greatest compliment because I think you are really articulate, smart, sharp, witty. But I also think we have some of the same character defects, and it makes me laugh. Argumentative, a little bit narcissistic.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
And I just
that's why we get into it.
I know. We argued a little bit before.
Yeah, we get into it.
Yeah, and it was funny. It's nice.
Yeah,
because I've kind of gotten heated with you before, and I love you. You're literally just let me know when we can talk about this in a calm way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Dude, sometimes I know it's safe to get into the argument and I'm cool. And sometimes, now there's a word for it, BPD.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cross into something that I'm like, this is something else. We're no longer in debate, and I actually need to pull back and just go, hey, dude.
Shark eyes.
Yeah, let me know when you're back. Let me know when we can talk.
And I had to de-escalate that day. Nothing happened. We literally
just got into some fucking argument. Yeah.
And I had to dissociate and de-escalate. It wasn't that I just
you did great.
Yeah,
we all
just
down. Hey, this is not what we're here to do.
Then it happened, and I felt so much joy in my there was nothing left of it, right? Because I felt it. Yeah, I felt it all right there. I felt like we were all holding space for one another, and
I'm glad we can do that.
I know. Yeah. I know.
I'm glad we can do that.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I find that hard to do with people in my inner circle. I find that hard to do with people, period.
Yeah.
And I find it so respectful and amazing to feel that ability with you. I think you bring this thing to the table where you're willing to make a stand for your point of view or not just let things complacent or people please.
Yeah.
And that brings that quality out of me.
I know.
I like it.
I know. I like when it when we're good, when we can do it.
I know.
Because I love a little amongst people I love a little let's get in I have a point of view and I'm gonna fucking let's go. And I respect you, but let's go.
I also feel we always talk in a tone when we raise our voices.
Yeah, there's a tone. Yeah, there's a tone.
People are always just what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of people can't deal with the tone.
Right, but I also think that sometimes we need to tone it down.
Sometimes, yeah. We're learning. We're learning.
Right?
We're learning.
No. And I really am learning. But that's one of the things I like about you too is that you're fiery.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I like it sometimes.
I love it.
I love getting into it.
And then I feel like Daniel is like this cool, calm water.
Well, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on.
What do I not know?
No, Daniel is calm water, okay? Daniel's so disassociated. Daniel's so steady. He can pop in and out of
zen.
anything. He's zen because he's just so in his space. But Daniel will willfully be devil's advocate guy. So he'll add fuel to a fire that he's not feeling the heat from. So he's a little menace as well.
Okay, so he's a fire starter.
Yes, and then we'll just sit back in his cool fucking cucumber and just watch the fire play out. He's a little sick.
Right,
I
but
love him for it.
That's how he contributes.
I know, but he can start fires that are emotional for other people he is not emotional about.
Yeah,
and
I can't play with Daniel.
I love it, but I also know this. And that's why I like I'll get into it with him because I know he's doing it just for the sake of like the ping pong, let's go.
Right.
So I'll bring it, but you got to know Daniel isn't emotional about it. But there are points of view that I'm fucking emotional about.
You are so emotional. Daniel's over here just like the Taurus, like.
Yeah, he's just like, but what about this inflammatory thing?
Right.
He doesn't even believe it. He'll just say it just to see what happens.
I'm a little bit like that too. I'm a little bit,
Yeah, no, I know.
Right.
And I'll do it sometimes.
But I feel like you're literally like, I'm saving the world with this argument. And I feel like you are because you're a good man who's done the research and I understand.
I don't think I'm saving the world, but you are right. I am like,
doing your part.
I do believe there is right and wrong in this world, and if you feel strongly about, no, see, it gets hard because some people believe they're right and they're totally fucking wrong. But I do think there are points of view that need to be held and need to be stood up for, and I do feel that like responsibility to be a good man in that way of like, no, man, I'm not gonna argue this for the sake of argument. This is right and this is fucking wrong, and we need to collectively agree upon this as a society. But then I get a little heated, and then I've lost.
Yeah. That kind of passion is like something that is so celebrated. That's what I think is like, again, character gift, character defect that can get a little out
biggest
of balance.
Strength, biggest weakness.
Right?
That's it.
And the thing is, the stakes are so high with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like we're discoursing about this, that, and other people's lives. Like,
when you're really
getting into it, and you're just like, this is wrong, and these,
and there are stakes to this. This matters. We can't just be unemotional. This matters.
Yeah. And that's where they get us because like it means so much to us. So then it keeps us in the responsibility of taking care of all these huge social changes.
Yeah.
It feels crushing and overwhelming. And the people with the actual power to do that don't feel shit.
I know.
Right? And so it just kind of tears you apart because you're just like.
I was laughing. I talked about this with Allison Stoner the other day on the podcast. She was, we were talking about that. Like basically like we feel responsible for all these things that we take on the emotion of, but we can't really fucking influence. Not fucking really. There's a lot wrong with the world that I can't touch. I can't actually touch. I can just impact the world that I am actually involved in. The people who can, she made this joke. She's like, well, it's really hard to care about these things when you're on the private island and the Wi-Fi signal's not working. And I was like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
You get a little disconnected when you're so fucking removed from the actual impact of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing I've been trying to do as I've grown, is let me try and pull back my energy and emotion on things that I do care about, but that I have no touch in, that I can't actually affect or influence, because there's a lot in my life I can. There's a lot in my immediate circle of influence that's where my energy and motion and attention on how do I show up good here in the world that I influence. Like it's been a big thing that I think all of us have to reckon with when because of technology, we are connected to everything and everyone in the world and every opinion. It's like, but you do have a limited bandwidth. And you do have to pick where you're spending
And there
that
are
bandwidth.
enough people to come up with enough causes, and I hate to say that. Like, there are enough people to carry enough of the thing, and I think the thing we need to recognize is not the separate causes that we're all holding, but that we're all holding something precious, right?
Yeah.
And that we care about, and that I think this is what I feel. There's one change that needs to be made, not 100, right? And that one, like these 1 and 2 big changes are going to trickle down in this way, right? We think we have to pop this one, this one, this one, this one, like. There's certain standards of living that need to be just
lifted up. Yeah.
Where we put the pedestal we put the Bible on or whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
There's just a standard of living
humanity.
owed to every person, and that's where the infrastructure goes until we serve that, right?
I agree.
But
yeah.
and that's what I feel kind of scared too, is that we're not always looking at that purpose. Everybody's looking at for their one cause to be heard, and I get it.
No, we need that too.
We need
That's
that
just
too.
Not where my,
we need that too. And it's like it's hard for me to know, because you just expend so much energy and you kind of feel like you throw it into a black hole.
That.
And that in and of itself is so taxing on me that I know I can't do my part for the next 3 or 4 days, because I'm feeling, holy moly.
No, that's it.
I feel so out of it.
Figure out where you're putting stuff that is in a black hole. Figure out where in your life you can put your care. That it goes somewhere, that it gets felt, that it has impact, that it gets met.
And it's small things that get paid forward. A moment in a day where you just have like human connection, that was great. It's not that life's going to be great for the rest of the day. It's not that it's some grand gesture. It's just that, wow, that was worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I
connecting
mean?
to
Life's
this
still hard,
life.
but that was worth it.
I know, because we're not in these little individual mental silos. You know, we are a part of a big interconnected, interdependent thing, and it feels good when you touch it. Mm-hmm. You go, oh, I'm part of this whole thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing it.
And for whatever it does for the world, it lights me up inside to make small talk, do all this. I'm sure it's the narcissist performer in me giving me attention. But I also just I like to notice people, pay attention, and listen, because I think that's a type of love that a lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people end up telling me things, and they end up saying, I don't know why I'm telling you this, just because I'm
listening.
I truly care about how they felt about this. I don't know, and I don't this and that, but I care about what you're telling me, and I can see that it affected you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just to fucking give someone some attention.
That's
just
it.
Witness someone.
That's it. Witnessing is such a beautiful form of love.
It really is.
Yeah. And it's simpler to do when we think, and it's immediate to us, right? Just witnessing people every day in your life. And that starts to relieve the cloud that we're living under, or at least the fog that we live under, that we don't have each other and can only trust the government, right?
Yeah.
It starts that community again.
Whatever that thing is that you put
that you're giving your power over to.
Yeah,
exactly. Jinx.
Want to arm wrestle?
Like an organic juba dabba.
Can you tell me what role acting has in your life these days? Because
oh, none.
Okay, tell me about that. I want to preface it and say, we grew up as actors.
Right.
We've been rewatching Ned's for our Ned's pod, and I'm getting to see you as a newbie actor, and I think you're so good. I think you're so good at being on set and doing I just think you're fucking great at this shit. In everything I've ever seen you in.
God, that means so much to me coming from you.
Dude, watching early episodes of Ned's, I was like, damn, she's this fucking locked in at 14. Fuck you, man. And I know, to be honest, listen, you made crazy choices through post Ned's, but you kept working way more than I did.
And it's confusing to me why that happened. Why I have no work after I have literally rid my life of demons.
Yeah. I think it takes time.
Way
for
more
those
time
cycles.
than it has.
Yeah, it takes time.
Exactly.
But I've been going through this multi-year process of, the transition from childhood performer to adult performer is a mental, it's an identity thing, it's a where you put your time, it's how much space it occupies in your life, all this shit. You have to debate whether you're going to continue doing it or not. I've been going through this process.
There's actually a thing with sexuality, I feel so attached to it, right? Because you don't have really any sexuality before this, but how do you mature into that?
Sure.
And how then do you Do you know what I mean? Because sexuality becomes such a part of the roles you play in your 20s.
Adult,
Yeah, do you know what I
sure,
mean?
I do.
And so just seeing people as, I don't know, that change was really hard for me as a woman to come into the feminine and understand that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I know it. I know it is for a lot of female actors, like getting into their fucking body and loving their body and their sexuality is like a process every woman actor has to go through. No matter what level of sexuality you do on screen, in some level you have to know that own energy in yourself. You have to be able to wield it and use it because it's used in story. It's used in acting. It's used in relationship.
And it's so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fear of this power, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like you're sitting on the edge of this abyss, but it's awesome. You know, not abyss, but just like this, I don't know, this truly deep and wild and bottomless thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for men too, I gotta be honest. Like I have to get in touch with my own sexuality as well to just be able to know what that power is within me and how do I wield it and use it and whatever. But yeah, through this process of like growing up and not working and wanting to work and all that shit, I always come back to, I fucking love this shit and I'm gonna keep going. Like I love it and I'm gonna keep going.
I know.
And I'm gonna keep that passion alive and I'm gonna go to class and work on shit that I love and just work on monologues and whatever. That's where I'm at kind of in my journey, and I'm curious where acting is for you right now.
Okay. I thought I left for 2 years and I came back and I did not ever in my life think it would be this hard to do anything again. I have a resume. What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm having problems with every agency I come into? My own changes within myself, so it's been a bop around of like agents. So that's kind of like the first thing I noticed is that myself is changing and my standards are changing and my tolerance for people is changing.
Yeah.
And there's not so much of this choose me, accept me, pick me. I'm sorry, right? There's not that. And when there's not that, I think something changes, right?
Yeah.
When you feel like autonomous in your own, I don't know, they feel like they can't, hold anything above you. Anyway, so seeing that side of it and just seeing like this influencer culture build up, and God bless it, God bless evolution, God bless everything.
Yeah.
I think I'm just starting to put it in its place where like it's less of this frantic when am I going to get an audition and more of this just like identity that I appreciate and that I still have an open door for. I mean, I still have an agent.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting all of my happiness, contentment, self-worth, and future in that basket anymore. Whereas before I was like, well, an actress is like my top tier. I realized the value of entrepreneurship and the value of exploring different sides of yourself.
Yeah.
And I also realized that my priorities have shifted. Unfortunately, okay, so when I was working, I didn't really have to worry about money, right? Well, I mean, I still did. It honestly still came in droughts and this and that and other,
course.
like it still came, whatever. But my priority is financial security.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one for most of us who get into your fucking 30s, late 20s, whatever.
But it's just not like that pure craft for me like I think it was in like the 90s. Where I don't know if it still is. But also this influencer culture, just feeling really disheartened. I actually feel hopeless when I send self-tapes in. Like I'm throwing it into a thing
The void.
that it will never be watched. And I never get feedback. And I'm going to be honest, the craft is better than it's ever been, right? Because it's like, I've been working it. I coach kids every day.
Yeah.
I help coach a class. I put my friends on tape for everything they do. I'm so about the work, right?
Yeah.
We put it on tape in their shitty apartment and I'm just like, this is amazing. Do you feel that moment we created? Right? And that's what it is for me. It's a spirit. It's a spirit. It's the spirit. And I just realized like I can have that spirit anywhere.
Yep.
So it's less, and it's obviously the ego coming down, but also morphing, and I think it's morphing. I think it's finally like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. Well, yes. I mean, this goes for any part of our identity in our lives. Like, we have some kind of hierarchy of value inside our own identity, and over life, that shit is constantly morphing. It's adjusting. Like, yes, this is part of me, but maybe it's not the fucking biggest part of me. Maybe life actually moves it down into a healthier position, And now I'm a more whole version of myself because I'm not off balance because this one part of me I've put as the captain and the driver and the engine of everything I'm fucking doing.
Amen.
I've noticed that throughout my life, certain, not just with acting, but certain identities, my fucking nice guy-ness that I was for so much of my life with no boundaries because the priority for me was don't make people uncomfortable, be nice. That as the driving motive in all of my relationships is being overly sensitive. I don't want to ever make someone uncomfortable. Not a great ultimate value. It's just not that fucking relevant. Yes, don't lose that. Have some sensitivity to that. But having that be the driving force in my life played out enough times where I went, okay, my active mode is don't make people uncomfortable. That's not a very effective or powerful or even, it comes from love. It comes from care of the person's, but it's not a great like ultimate priority.
Right. But it's right. It's not a great ultimate priority, but it's also this like change in your own self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
Like you earn that perspective.
Yeah.
And I think we're the exact opposites where that's concerned. Right? I have worked to make people uncomfortable. Like I'm like, I'll be the edgy exhibitionist.
Exactly.
What do
Let's
you
see what
believe in?
happens.
Right? And then drugs just make you all the more God complex.
Yeah,
Holy
ego booster.
moly.
Ego booster.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, inflator.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I know.
No good. No
I know.
good.
But yeah, that whole, so, and acting, for sure, as child actors, I mean, being an actor is the ultimate identity and the ultimate driving force of your life because it was everything. And as we grow, I talked about this with Allison as well, is she's kind of going through this process of like, I guess I'm still acting, but I'm so much more interested in other things that I'm finding out I have all these other parts of myself that were diminished because I was solely focused on performer as identity.
Right.
And like, what a beautiful process as we age is these things settling into like a different place in us.
Yeah. So like my first sponsor said, you think that the work of your life is going to be glitzy, glamorous, in lights. People are going to talk about it like it's going to be in the paper, whatever. But she's like, the work of my life was taking care of my husband the 5 years while he was dying of cancer, you know?
Yeah,
like that was the
shit
work
no
of my
one
life.
saw.
Shit nobody saw.
Yeah.
You know? The most unglamorous and probably, I mean, just like, and that was the work of it, and that really affected me.
Yeah.
That really affected me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's huge. That's such a big reckoning we have to hit as we mature. Is of course when you're younger, you think your victories are going to be scoring a fucking touchdown at the end of the game and people lifting you up on their fucking shoulders and everyone seeing you and cheering for you. You think those are the important wins in your life. And those might not ever come, and if they do, they'll come and go. And the actual victories are private and they're personal and they're antisocial and they're not sexy. The victories aren't sexy. It's like putting myself to bed before midnight and waking up refreshed.
When you were saying that, homie, I've been doing that.
And
I've been doing it this last week. That my body loves it.
Turns out my body really likes it.
Loves it.
I know. And I'm like, what?
It's been waking me up just naturally. I'm not having my nightmares.
I know. And I'm like, wow, like that's the work of your life is small, private choices that just are a little better for you.
Yeah. Me learning how to take care of myself and caring enough to care about myself and knowing even when I'm alone, you deserve care. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And that's such a small and private journey.
Yeah. Yep. It's
that people will be able to see, but they're not a part of that with me.
Exactly.
You know?
They'll be able to see the effect. They'll be able to see how it's radiating off you, but they won't see kind of that mental moment where you can go do the fucking other thing or the other behavior or just make that little shift. It's not even a big shift. It's just a little shift into something a little fucking healthier.
Yep.
And man, you do that consistently over your life, there's the work.
Right.
There's progress.
Yep.
Like, fuck, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how when the big wins come, you can actually hold them in a good place and move through them with grace and like have them be sustainable is when you're already doing that like private work, you know?
Because that hollow shell of outside, like that's going to be great, but there's still going to be this gnawing thing, you know what I mean? Of just like that value that you get by making your bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
dude.
that place to stand in the power and think, I deserve this.
Yeah.
Right? I can stand in my place and receive what this is
because I've taken
I've earned
care
it.
of myself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've taken care of my space,
and
myself,
I know I deserve
my
to
daily
take up
choices.
space. Exactly.
Yeah.
No matter what your skill or task is, that might be externally whatever, but your ability to receive the accolades you get, your ability to like, I don't know, be affected by that is, the fuck was I just talking about? I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It obviously wasn't that fucking important. But anyway, sometimes it just goes pop. I told you, I'm still paying all the effects.
It happens to me as well.
You know what I mean?
And I was listening so intently that I can't even go back.
We've been there.
No, we're just talking about sustaining those wins and receiving them.
Because you know what? That's what I couldn't do with my success.
Receive it.
I never received it.
Yeah.
I received that paycheck. I received a credit, but I didn't receive it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You kept it at arm's length.
I couldn't. When people said, oh, you're great, you're talented, that didn't mean shit to me when I got home.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel that myself. I had no integrity as a person.
Yeah.
I felt disgusting, gross.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Just
because of all the
unlovable.
private choices you're making.
Exactly.
All the fucking shit that people can't see.
Yeah. That came to set just like, oh my God, they can see it. Like how bad, like it changed my work. It changed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, part of me is so glad I didn't get the success that I wanted like in my early 20s. Like if I ended up on fucking Pretty Little Liars and it all just kept fucking going up. Part of me is really glad it didn't happen, even though part of me is devastated.
Devastated.
Nice. But get out. No. But part of me is really glad because I think if that wave of like Neds and then another fucking show and it all just hit, I don't think I would have learned this shit of like, you know what? I take care of myself and my space in the world around me in ways that no one is gonna see, but in ways that I know I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like no one can take that from me, and like I know it, and it gives me like just a groundedness in my life that like no, I know how I show up to things when no one's watching, and like most of the time I'm pretty fucking okay with that. And so now as I go after these things, and if I can get the success that I want externally, it will be as a whole human. And it wouldn't have been if it came in my early 20s. I wouldn't have been whole about it. It would have taken me on a ride that I wasn't able to hold because it all just came too quickly and I wasn't fucking baked yet, you know?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's exactly what happened. And here's the thing, like the last few sets I was on before I had to leave, I mean, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Like it did make me happy.
Yeah.
I was there and I needed that paycheck, and that was the driving force. But like I wasn't taking my care of myself before or after. I was just still so miserable. I remember this one time sitting at Pretty Little Liars. We were sitting in Video Village waiting to be called out. I was sitting like this alone, right, not talking to anybody because I was just so anxious on that set by the end.
Yeah.
So my last few episodes I was just sitting like this, and all of a sudden just tears start running down my face. And I'm just looking at them like, how does this stop? And it's just running down my face. And I wasn't even emotional. Like I was like, I don't know how to stop. Like, and my body just could not hold it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was killing myself.
Yeah.
And so
and
the work didn't mean anything to me. Didn't mean anything to me. I know.
A set with great people,
but I couldn't turn it into
audience and great story and like all the shit that
me.
should be the fucking thing.
I was in hell.
Yeah.
I was in hell.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. That's it. It's like, how can I get what I want, but also be in a place in my life where I can fucking hold it?
Get the crown without falling down, down, down.
Is that a song?
Beyonce.
Okay. Okay, sick.
But that makes sense, right?
Sick.
Get the crown without falling down, down,
That's
down.
it.
100%.
Heavy lies the crown.
Oh my gosh. God, I was like allergic to the crown, made them like refit that. Like, I'm going to get it this time.
Yeah.
I'm ready. My weave ready.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes in all sorts of ways, man. I'm interested to see what's here for me in my 30s, you know?
Yeah.
My 20s were a whole fucking journey.
Yeah.
And so it's cool that part of this now is not only this podcast, but our Ned's Declassified rewatch pod. I think when we drop this episode, it'll be out or close to out. So we can definitely talk about, like, how did that feel? How did it feel for you coming up? Like, I felt such a wave of, like, weird hope and just this big cycle of life bringing us back together. The three of us getting to sit down, not only watch the show, which is a fucking trip it's a rewatch pod. So we watch episodes and then talk about them on the pod, and like watching these episodes that I haven't seen in 17 years, strange time dilation, fluctuation, emotions.
Did you want to watch them before?
Not really.
Same.
Not really.
What was that?
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I know, I just didn't have an inkling to watch.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I love the show. I love what we did. Rewatching has been a blessing because,
Right.
like, after the first couple, once Ned's got into its groove, I was like, oh, I get why people love this. And
I do.
And I get how much fun we had. Like, this shit is fun.
After I saw me in the pilot, I was like, I should have been the one that fired.
Yo, the first couple episodes,
I was like,
yo, I felt a little like, wait, why are people still talking about this show?
dude, I felt the
I felt a little. I was like, oh,
I was like,
fuck,
geez,
dude. You guys
wow,
are holding
this?
on to something weird.
I felt
But then, like 3 episodes in,
Yeah.
like early, we
It's-
hit a groove, and I'm like, oh, there's the Neds I remember.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
this shit's funny,
right?
It's silly.
I was like,
It's-
this had to have held up
I
somehow.
know. Yeah, those first few, I was like,
holy shit.
fuck, was it all a lie? Was it all a fucking lie?
What are we going to talk about?
What
on this
dude,
podcast?
I was scared. I was real scared.
I was real scared.
Yeah, I was like, are we about to like kind of like bring back the joy
Are
of
you going
something
to
that I
like
think is
break
terrible?
like one of the great things that I literally hold as a foundational part of my life?
yeah, foundational.
What's happening?
But yeah, so no, I never really wanted to rewatch the show, and I'm glad that this has given us like a reason to rewatch it, because rewatching it has been really weird and cool, and I don't know. It's a like I said, like this big cycle of life, and this thing that has been so. I mean, I'm unable to shake this show from my fucking existence. I couldn't if I tried. It's fucking thrust upon me, and I hold it so dearly
Right.
in my memory.
Right.
But then rewatching it is just like bringing it back in cool ways, and just spending this much time talking to you and Daniel. Is bringing back this weird force in my life that was so beautiful.
Right? And
Yeah.
so yeah. And the way that the things we have in common as adults, but also just like this childish love that feels like it's there. Like beep,
That.
beep, beep, beep.
That, this
know?
little, like, yes, because for sure, engaging as adults and sharing all our stories is super fun, but it's more connecting to, like, just that. Like, no, we loved each other as kids, and that is still there. So some
Yeah.
part of my inner child is just like, what's up, fuckers?
Yeah. And there's also a safety that I feel with you guys when
Yeah.
I'm with you. I feel very just like, I don't know, like safe. That's just
Yeah.
the word.
No,
Like
same.
not on edge, not anxious, not feeling like I need to be anywhere else. Just like,
Yeah, because, I mean, we just have this old context for each other.
Yeah.
That was a safe time.
yes.
And so that's still fucking there and in us, you know? Mm-hmm. What? Talking about how we get like referenced for each other throughout our lives. What happened recently with this guy who just came up to you and just said cookie? Just nothing else?
I'm going to be
Yeah,
honest. So I needed you to see his face because there's a reason I sent you that. But he was like, wait a second. Do I know you? And I always try to be like, unless
know.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, does he? And so he was like, and my friend was like, tell him. And she's like, Ned's Declassified. And he was like, cookie. How am I supposed to take that? My friend actually is so offended that she clarifies, She was Moze.
Moze.
He's like, okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if he was just reminiscing, but there was nothing like I loved Cookie.
Right.
Cookie.
Just Cookie at you. I love that story, and that happens in comments and in real life. Like I said, like no matter what happens, some people just say Moze or Cookie at me.
Oh.
Not even where's Moze, not where's Cookie, just Moze, Cookie. And I was just like, yeah, man.
I had no idea.
Dude, it's so funny. I'm just like, yep.
Oh, dang.
That's the name of those characters. Yep. Like, fuck, man. Not even a question, not a where, not a how are you.
Right.
Just
no
Moze, Cookie.
No other pronoun words with it. So the other thing is, whenever I post a TikTok that's like, you know, about a, like not about a dude, but just like one of those audios that's like about whatever, and they're like, you know, whatever, and they're just like, how could you do Ned like that? Does Ned know about this?
Yo.
Like,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
And
Yeah. If I post anything, it's like, oh,
a
does Moze
majority of
know
the
about
comment-
this? Or
yeah.
just
Majority of the comments.
we're linked forever, man.
Yeah, and we both know about each other's extracurricular activities, and we don't care.
It's true.
Right?
It's fine. It's all good. All right? Fuck.
It's always a weird thing. It's always like that weird subject that's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see how it gets just reinvigorated with us all on a
I'm
fucking
looking
pod
forward to
talking
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
be
I'm going to have to
honest.
start living again to have things to talk about.
I think we have a ton. I'm gonna be real. I feel we record our Ned's pod episodes like in batches, so we do a bunch in a day. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel very vulnerable when I drive home because I don't know what I just said, because by the end of the day, I'm loose, I'm tired, I'm no longer aware. We've been talking for hours, and I'm with you and Daniel in a room in private. We're recording something that's going to go out to everybody, but by the end of the day, I'm not even. So,
I'm just with you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
so we're just fucking around
yeah.
and we're saying all sorts of shit, and I'm pretty sure I blacked out, and then I drove home a couple of those nights, and I was like, what did we just say?
Oh my gosh. I gave away the farm and I was like, why?
I know. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, me too. I was like, first of all, I feel like the first few episodes, just like our show, are going to be boring.
Yeah. I think the first few, we're going to be figuring it out. All right.
First few episodes are going to be really show heavy, right?
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
Right?
We're trying to figure out our flow.
And then it just turns into like... it literally turns into like just this high school great, like...
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't seen each other. We're like, whoa, how do
I know. We start talking about all sorts of shit.
weird shit.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it's
enjoy
worth
it. Enjoy
worth
it, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know what we talk about. I hope it's all okay.
What does
I
that
feel
mean
vulnerable.
if you can't even think of it? Like, I can't even...
I have no idea. No, it's because like we're just present and loose and talking. Like I don't know. I don't remember what I fucking did yesterday. It's that shit.
Right.
You know?
How long have we been even like here? No, that was a bad joke. Just forget it.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll
No,
see.
I didn't.
I hope
anyway.
everyone loves it. I hope we don't make fools of ourselves, and I hope everyone knows what a joy
I meant
it
that
is.
as in like what have we been even talking about? I can't even remember the last hour. I didn't mean that in like a mean way. Like, how long have we been talking?
You're good.
Okay. God, I feel so like, ooh.
You're good.
All right, good.
Yeah,
I love making clarifications like that
Cool.
because I
Yeah,
hate
just-
if people even felt a sliver of that. Okay.
Yeah, nope, you're good.
Go with your outro.
We're great.
You're
We're
great.
great. But yeah, I'm excited to put it out into the world, and like the universe acts in the way that it does, and when I'm at my best, I trust it. I trust that I can't see everything that's happening in life, and that I trust that it's for my best. So like, I wanted a official Ned's reboot to happen. Maybe it still could. I'm less interested in it now. Like the podcast feels so good. Like it feels like it's fulfilling that thing. And so I'm
I
content.
agree with you. I
I'm
agree with
content.
you. I'm super open, and whatever could happen from here. Like a lot of interesting comments to read, and like people, thinking and whatever. Just still, I think so easy to do. But you're right. Like that feeling of like needing it to be validated or whatever. Like that does feel like that energy is coming back together on the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like exactly. I did feel the need that like something needs to happen with us and this show because there's so much love there still.
Yes.
And so the thought was, let's do a reboot. And like I said, I guess it could still happen, but it didn't happen. It hurt. And now I'm like so content with it because it was just that feeling of something needs to happen with this. And the pod feels like it. And I'm getting all the kicks that I wanted to have, just like sitting in a room and shooting the shit with you and Daniel.
Exactly.
And rewatching the show and the bloopers. And reminiscing about
I gotta be honest though, like every so often I got this dream that we're back shooting a first season of something, and it's honestly exhilarating. It's exhilarating just to be in the dream, and like we're passing each other on set, and like seriously, like
that's wild.
It's just so cool.
Have you had dreams that have come true? Have you had premonitions?
I only had one premonition in my life.
All right.
That was that we were gonna win the big screen TV we entered for at Hy-Vee when I was 9. And my mom called me at school to tell me we won that shit.
They called you out of class. She's like, Lindsey, we won! And you were like, I fucking dreamt it!
And I was like, wow, life's going to be great.
Oh, little did sweet Lindsey know the twists and turns the road would take.
Oh, man, that was a great day, though.
Oh, I love that. Was that in Nebraska?
That was in Nebraska at my St. Peter's Middle School.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still can't believe anyone's from Nebraska.
Right? Yeah. No, it's gotten chic in the bad, like.
Yeah?
I mean, kind of with Lady Gaga.
Oh, is she Nebraska?
No,
she's New Jersey
she
or
said
something,
no,
New
she
York.
just screamed Nebraska in that song.
Okay.
And like one of the Maroon 5 guys is from Nebraska, not the one you ever see, but like the one that plays the guitar.
Okay.
And
Wow.
anyway, yeah, it's actually not chic anymore, but I am from there.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah.
It's good.
Hey, oh yeah. So do you spend a lot of time in Australia now with your sis?
I mean, a lot is relative, more than probably most people who don't
right.
live
You
in
were down there-
Australia.
yeah, you're going-
We try and go once or a year, and now she's got a little baby. So I'm going very soon to meet my little niece. I love her already. But I'm going down soon, and now now that there's going to be a little human growing down there, I'm going to try and get down there even more. But
Does she ever come back here?
Well, the thing is, COVID happened. The thing is, I never thought in my life I wouldn't be able to see my sister. Like, impossible to see her. Even though she's so far away, it was always like, well, I can hop on a flight or you can hop on a flight. COVID happened. I didn't see her for 3 years, dude. 3 years because Australia's COVID lockdown protocols were so gnarly that I couldn't go there. And if she left, she could come here, but there was no telling that she could get back.
Oh my.
So for 3 years, I didn't see her, which is insane.
Right.
And my mom and I, we try and get down there once a year. And it used to be like, I would go down once a year and she would come here once a year. So then at least twice a year, we're seeing each other.
Right.
I don't know what it'll be now with the fucking baby. We'll see what happens.
Are you taking a little like present down for the baby?
I should.
Yeah.
Great
Take
idea.
it like a really cute something that it could have in its crib forever.
I gotta get I want to get like just a obnoxiously massive stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I want something that's just too fucking
That
big.
she's just gonna be like, fucking have to move this like Devon.
Yeah, I want that. I want cumbersome love
Yeah,
for her.
love that, love that.
Because I'm far away,
Yeah.
I need her to know
that I'm always here.
that it's here and this stuffed animal is the size of your room.
Oh my god, this is so cute.
But
you
yeah,
can order such cute ones or get such cute
dude,
ones.
I'm so excited for my sister and my family. It's
Yeah.
like a big feeling like,
big,
whoa,
huge deal.
our lives are forever changed. There's
Yeah.
now a new human in our family
Yeah.
who we all love, and like, holy shit. And I can't wait to get back down to Australia. It's an amazing country, amazing
You are
place.
just like a traveling man. That's what I would call you.
Yes.
I love it.
Yep, and I'm
good on you.
going to continue to be. Last year was fucking epic for travels, and I want that to continue in my life. I work and pursue things that give me a different kind of anxiety, but also the freedom that I can like get up and go places because I'm not living the 9 to 5. I don't have to put in PTO. I don't have to ask someone if I can take a vacation.
Wait, PTO?
Paid time off. I don't have to,
wow.
I don't have to dude, people who have regular jobs, they can't just get up and go. They have to submit it to their boss and it has to get approved. Yes, sir, you can travel where you want for this amount of time, right? Like, I get that. I realized after COVID and being locked down, like, I need to take advantage of the fact that I don't live that life. And I need to go see the world. And I went to Israel and Europe last year and just like, I want to keep
you go by yourself.
doing that. Yeah.
So fearful.
You know who I was inspired by for years? Do you know Mayada Walsh, my homie? Do you know of her?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So Mayada, who I'll have on this pod at some point, Mayada, like through her 20s as a single female, would travel to Europe for weeks at a time with no strict itinerary, like a flight in and not booking her flight out, and would travel, man, alone as a woman. And she would crush it and have these amazing experiences. And yeah, you got to be aware, but like she was not only fine, she was enriched by these experiences. And I was so inspired by that. Like, dude, you just go. And you just figure it out and you see places and you're smart and you're capable. And I was inspired by that. And, you know.
That is so beautiful. Like,
yeah.
I've only like seen, like I know of her and she's so stunning, but like that's so even more, wow.
I know. I'm going to have her on to talk about it because people need to know, young women need to know that you can do this. There is a way to not be afraid of the world and go see it and just be smart.
Yeah.
We need to go because someone else is coming into the studio.
Yeah, no.
Lindsey, I love you.
I love you so much.
Yeah, I love you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for bullying me into coming on.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Right? Anytime, right? And now I can just be like, he does love me.
I do.
Okay.
Everyone go listen to our Ned's pod when it's out and enjoy it.
Day after Valentine's Day.
That's right. Feb 15th and every Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's been a blast, and I'm excited to see where this year takes us, having something to collaborate on together.
Yeah. And thank you for all the work you've done to make that Ned podcast, because he's definitely been the intermediary between everything. And congratulations on making this, man. I'm really happy for you. You deserve all the good things. You put so much good effort and time and research into like your endeavors, and I'm really happy for you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to that Onomy podcast. Onomy is a creator-led educational platform that teaches you the things you wished you learned in school so you can thrive in adulthood. Onomy lessons are completely free and they're taught by some of your favorite creators from around the internet. Head to onomy.co to start learning about things like budgeting, investing, taxes, how to thrive in your relationships, how to find your dream job, and so much more. That's onomy.co. onomy.co. See you there.